This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Good afternoon, friends. In this Azure Databricks Master Program, this is our 31st session. In this session, we will see reading files from the Blob Storage directly. How you can read the files from Blob Storage directly, we will see. So there are two ways. One is you can directly read the files from the Blob Storage. Second one is you can mount the Blob Storage on the Databricks. So there are two ways. So we will see one by one. So in this session, we will see different ways of accessing blob storage. One is use the access keys directly. We can use access keys and we can access the files from the blob storage directly into your database. That is one way. Second way is you can create the mount point on Azure Databricks. You can create the blob storage mount point on the Azure Databricks. That is nothing but you are attaching the blob storage to your Azure Databricks. That is the second way you can able to do. Here you can use a service principal and OAuth 2.0, or you can use a blob storage key. So I'm going to use the blob storage key for this. Okay, fine. Next, storage account. So we are going to create the storage account. We already know what is storage account, and we know already what is key vault service. So we will discuss again key vault service. Our data will be there in a storage account. We access this data which is there in a blob storage. We need to connect to the storage account. How will connect to the storage account? We need to have a key. That particular key we are not going to hard code anywhere. We need to keep it in some secure place. That secure place is nothing but a key vault. In the key vault we are going to keep that particular key vault. Okay, then I'm going to create a Azure Databricks workspace. Once I create Azure Databricks workspace, I'm going to do two things. See, I will create something called secret scope. Secret scope is nothing but you are connecting to the key vault from the Databricks. I will connect to the key vault. Once I connect to the key vault, you remember I kept the storage account key in the key vault. That particular key I will access it directly. Use a access key directly in your Databricks. That's what I'm going to do. So I will create a link connection to links. I will establish the connection to key vault. Once I establish the connection to key vault from Databricks, I can able to read all the keys which I stored in my key vault. So I'm going to read those key vaults. Next, I will create the mount point. So we are going to create the mount point. It is nothing but you can attach the storage, blob storage to the Databricks as well. Two ways you can connect to the blob storage from the Databricks. One is by using access key, you can directly connect. Second one is mount point. It's nothing but you're going to attach the storage account to the Databricks. These two things we will discuss next. We will see reading different file formats, different format files. Example, you can read CSV, parquet, ORC, or any file format which we have learned. So any file you can able to read once you connect to the storage account from the Databricks. Next, reading multiple files. Yes, not only single file, you can able to read the multiple files. Then we are going to say write data frame as a CSV file. You can write that particular data frame as a CSV file. Same data frame you can write it as a parquet file as well. Okay. Finally, we are going to see the prerequisite, what we should know to understand this particular situation. Then finally, we are going to see required resources. So these are the concepts we are going to discuss today. Let's see now first blob storage. We know Azure Blob Storage is a Microsoft's object storage solution for the cloud. This is the object storage solution for the cloud. So in this blob storage, what we can do is we can keep all our images, audios, videos. What is this? This is nothing but unstructured data. How much data we can put? We can put unlimited data. It's nothing but a massive amount of unstructured data we can able to put it in the blob storage. That's why you can see blob storage is optimized for storing massive amounts of unstructured data. Next. So once you create the storage account, how to create the containers, how to upload the data into that containers, we know. See, today what I'm going to do is once you create the storage account, you will see something called access keys. You need to go to access keys. You can see here key 1 and key 2. You can take any one of the key. This is the first step that you need to remember. You need to create a storage account, upload some files in the storage account, but in real time you'll get those files everything from the on-premise. Okay, first thing is you have a data in your storage account. As we are practicing it, so you need to upload the files manually. That is one thing. Second is you are going to fetch this particular key. Okay, you need to take this particular key, because if I want to connect to the blob storage from Azure Databricks, we need to use this particular key. Okay, I will ask in the middle of the session how we will connect to the storage account. You remember we need to have a key. Okay, next, Key Vault service. What is this Key Vault service? Azure Key Vault is a cloud service that provides a secure store for secrets. Secure store for secrets is nothing but a, you can consider it as a username, password, certificates. It can be anything. See, you can securely store keys, passwords, certificates, and other secrets. So anything which is sensitive, all that information you can able to keep it in the Key Vault. So how you can believe Key Vault? Because whatever information you are storing in a Key Vault secrets, this information will be encrypted. Okay, that's why nobody can able to take your keys or passwords or certificates. Next, you create a Key Vault, then use it to store a secret. So basically, you need to create a Key Vault service. In that, you are going to create a something called secrets. Secret is nothing but a key and value pair. Key and value pair. So you will have a secret name. You just have to provide your secret name. Under that, you need to put actual password or actual key or actual certificate. Now, if you want to access actual password, you need to use this particular key. This key is nothing but a secret name. Okay, see, key value pair that stores the secret material. Keys are identifiable by secret names. Key is nothing but your secret name. Key is nothing but your secret name. Remember. Now, so how you will connect to the blob storage? By using key. That key, I'm going to store it in my key vault. See, by using this secrets, I have an option here, secrets, right? So we need to go to this option. We need to create a secret. In that secret, I will keep my key. Okay, now my key is, where is my key now? Blob storage key, I kept it in my Azure Key Vault. Now my goal is to connect to the blob storage from Azure Databricks. If my Azure Databricks wants to connect to the blob storage, it should get the key. From where it can get the key? It should connect to the Key Vault. It should connect to the Key Vault. Databricks should connect to the Key Vault. Once it can connect to the Key Vault, it will take the key which is required to connect to the blob storage. Databricks connected to the Key Vault, it will take the key. With the help of this key, it will connect to the blob storage. Once it connected to the blob storage, it can able to read and write the data. So for that, now you see we need to do something called secret scope. It is nothing but a, you are connecting to the Key Vault from the Databricks. For that, we need to create a secret scope. Secret scope is nothing but a logical grouping mechanism for secrets. Okay, it's a grouping. You are just grouping the secrets, all the passwords. If you want to take it from the Key Vault, we need to have a secret. If you create one secret, you can able to access all the once you create one scope. Okay, secret scope is nothing but you can call it as a scope or secret scope. Once you create the secret scope, it's a connection to the Key Vault. This connection to the Key Vault will allow you to access group of secrets. All the secrets which you have in the Key Vault, you can able to access. All secrets belongs to scope. Belongs to the scope, you can able to access. Scopes are identifiable by name and are unique per user's workspace. So scopes are identifiable by name. So you will have a scope name. With the help of this scope name, you will connect to the Key Vault. Once you connect to the Key Vault, again you need to give the key name. Key is nothing but secret name. Scope and secret, we need two things, scope and the secret. Secret, or you can call it as a key. You need these two things, scope and a key. You need scope is nothing but a connection information. Key is nothing but a what exactly password you want. Maybe in Key Vault you might have stored hundreds of password, data warehouse password, database password, blob storage key, data lake storage username password. You kept multiple storage information, storage credentials. So now key is going to tell you, key is going to identify your key uniquely, because secret name is a unique, right? So with the help of that secret name, you are going to identify which key you are going to read it. To read it, to connect to the Key Vault from Databricks, we need a scope. Now, so how you will create scope is, you will have, if you remember, we have, when we were connecting to the command line interface, from the command line interface, when we were connecting to the Databricks, we have taken the Databricks instance. That is, from the URL, we have taken the name of Databricks workspace. That name of Databricks workspace, you need to put it here, then hash secrets / create scope. If you like browse to this URL, you will see this kind of page. this page will have scope name. Scope name means your connection name. So who all should access this connection? Creator, whoever is creating this, only that person can able to access it. All users, whoever has access to this Azure Databricks workspace, all those users will access this particular connection. Now, so to where you want to connect, I want to connect to the key vault. That's why you need to use this DNS name, and the resource ID. These two things you can see here. See, if you go to properties in key vault, DNS name is here, resource ID is here. So with the help of these two things, I'm able to connect to the secret scope. Here you need to provide DNS name and the resource ID. Okay, now we covered three things. One is blob storage, key vault, secret scope. Blob storage is for storing your data. To connect to the blob storage, we need to have a key. I have taken the key. That is our first step. Second is I kept this particular key in my Azure Key Vault. Azure Key Vault is a managed service which will keep your secrets very securely. Okay, that's why we kept it there. Now my key is in a Key Vault. Third thing is I'm going to create a secret scope. It is nothing but if my Databricks wants to access the blob storage, it required a key, but it will not get the key directly. So it needs to go to Key Vault. From Key Vault, it should connect to the blob storage to access the data. For connecting to the key vault from Databricks is going to create a secret scope. In Databricks, we are going to create a secret scope. See here, this is a Databricks workspace. From Databricks, we are creating the secret scope. That is nothing but a connection to your key vault. Okay, as of now, any questions?
Yeah, there are multiple layers you're saying, like,
Yeah.
one is key vault, key, then secret scope. So this is kind of any hierarchical structure, this one?
You will come to know, just wait until
Okay,
end.
okay. Yeah.
Will come. Any other questions? Okay, fine. Now you see, use a access key directly. How you will use access key directly to connect is, this is a direct connection. Here you see, this is the direct connection. If you set this particular key to your Spark configurations, you can able to access your blob storage directly. Spark.config.set. So here you need to put your storage account name, and my key I'm going to read it from the Azure Key Vault. For that, I need to provide two things. One is scope, second one is key. Scope is nothing but whatever we have created in Databricks, okay, to connect to the Key Vault. By using this scope, I can connect to the Key Vault. Once I connected to the Key Vault, in a Key Vault, we will have multiple secrets. So now you may store blob key, you may store data lake storage key, you will have multiple things. So you need to tell what exactly you want. I want blob key. Okay, if I use this particular key, blob key, I can able to access only that particular blob key. Okay, don't worry, you will have clear understanding. So whenever you have set this particular keys directly to your Spark configuration, how you can create the blob path URL is, okay, example, I want to read some file, how you will create the URL. So this is the structure, //container name @storage name .blob.core.windows.net. This is the structure you need to use to connect to the blob storage. Okay, this is the direct way, like directly you are accessing your blob storage. The disadvantage with this is there is no advantage. There is a disadvantage with this. The disadvantage is suppose if you have terminated your cluster, again you started your cluster, then again you need to execute this piece of code before you read any file from the blob storage. If you have created a new cluster, first you need to execute this piece of code to read the file from blob storage. Okay, this particular piece of code you need to run from all the clusters. Okay, if you want to read any file from the blob storage, that is one thing. Second thing, the existing cluster, currently you ran this particular script and you are reading the files from the blob storage. Suddenly cluster is terminated due to some reason. Again, you need to execute this piece of code again if you want to read the files from the blob storage, because this is a kind of a session. Whenever cluster is terminated, whenever you are switching to a new cluster, this particular connection will be disconnected, like terminated. This connection will be terminated. So that's why we are going with the something called mount point. What is the importance of mount point is all users in the Databricks workspace have access to the mounted Azure Blob Storage container. Doesn't matter whether you are running your script on this cluster or on what cluster. You can create a new cluster, you can execute it. So in all these cases, you can able to access the data from the Blob Storage if you mount Blob Storage on the Databricks. Second thing, if the cluster is terminated, no issue, you don't need to execute this piece of code again. Mounting code, you don't need to execute again. Okay, see here, once a mount point is created to a cluster, okay, users of that cluster can immediately access the mount point. Users of that cluster can immediately access the mount point of that particular cluster. Okay, so any of the user can use this mount point to access the data from the blob storage. To use the mount point in another running cluster, you have another running cluster or you have created a new cluster, you must run below command on that running cluster to make the newly created mount point available for use. That is, just you need to refresh mount. You need to tell, I have already some mount point. Can you just make sure these mount points are reflecting into the newly created cluster or whatever cluster? Okay, suppose sometimes you have connection issue. First thing that you need to do is you can refresh the mount point, then that connection issues will resolve most of the time. Okay, so now how you will mount this particular, how you will create a mount point for blob storage in Databricks is this is the mount code. Okay, same, you have a URL. Okay, then the only thing is you need to create the mount point. Here this is the container name, this is your storage name. Mount point is nothing but a which container you want to attach to the Databricks. Example, I have multiple containers in my blob storage. Example, I have Cloud Pandit, Databricks, something like that. I have multiple containers. When I attach only Cloud Pandit container, I can able to access only Cloud Pandit container data. I cannot access data from the Databricks container. Okay, so extra configuration is nothing but you need to provide the key. How you will provide the key? Scope name and the key you need to use here. Okay, this is how you are going to mount the blob store. How you will unmount? If you want to detach this particular connection, okay, then dbutils.fs.unmount. This is the unmount, just a mount point. This is the mount point, right? So exactly this mount point I want to unmount. So just you have to use this particular command. Okay, now, so what is the relation between all these things? Now you see, okay, before that, I think we have one second. Okay, fine, 1 second. Okay. I have that particular slide at the end, don't worry. So how you will read once you connected is spark.reader format. So what format of file, doesn't matter, it can be any format of file you can have in your blob storage. So if you have CSV, just mention CSV. If you have parquet, and this is the mount point, mnt/cloud pandit. So format mnt/cloud pandit, format schema of s mnt/cloud pandit. So what is the difference between these three? So here I may use it, maybe I may read single file. Here I may read multiple files. Here I am reading the multiple files with a user defined schema. Okay, next. Write data frame. How you will write? df.write.move is overwrite. Format, it can be any format, whatever format, in whatever format you want to write the data, you can write the data. And you want to save, where you want to save the data, so you can specify your mount point. Next, so this is the append mode. So by using this particular mode, append mode, you can able to add the new data to the existing data. Overwrite means it will remove the existing data and it will write the new data. All these things we discussed, reading and writing different types of files. Now overview diagram, you can see here data store. So basically you will store all your data in your Azure Blob Storage. Now what you will do is Azure Blob Storage keys, you will keep it in a Azure Key Vault. Okay, now if I want to connect to the Azure Blob Storage from my Databricks, okay, this is my Databricks. I want to connect to the data Blob Storage from Databricks. First, Databricks should connect to the Azure Key Vault. How it will connect? By using a scope. Once it connect to the Key Vault, it will read the key. That key belongs to the Azure Blob. See, through this connection, you kept already key in your Azure Key Vault. I have created a scope to connect to the Key Vault from Databricks. With the help of this scope, I will connect to the Azure Key Vault and I will read this particular credentials. That is nothing but blob key. With the help of that particular blob key, I can able to connect to the Azure Blob Storage. See, I'm able to connect to the Azure Blob Storage. So once you connect to the Databricks is able to connect to the Azure Blob Storage via Azure Databricks. Why? Because the required keys I have stored in my Azure Key Vault. Now once it got the required connections, it can able to read directly data from Azure Blob Storage to your Azure Databricks. Okay. Clear, Senthil, or you have any doubt? Please let me know now.
Malaya.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. If you are saying the direct connection, that means it doesn't need a access key or a access key.
It need. That's what I'm saying. Direct connection means every time whenever cluster is terminated, you need to reconnect again. Mount is connection will be there forever. Direct connection means connection will keep on disconnecting. In which scenarios? Whenever cluster is terminated, whenever you are executing your code from another cluster. In all these cases, you need to reconnect to your blob storage every time. If you mount it, this particular storage will be attached to your blob or Databricks, because mounting means attaching the storage to your Databricks.
Yeah. Okay.
Senthil, you have any questions?
Well, still, if mounting in the sense, if you terminate a cluster or something, but still we are dropping the connections, right? And we are not getting connection, isn't it?
We are getting the connection. You just have to refresh the mount.
Yeah.
Okay.
Refresh mounts, that command I have shown you. Okay. Just have to execute that, then automatically mount point will be available in all the clusters. Even if the existing cluster is terminated, you can restart it and execute it. That will be available. If the existing cluster is terminated, when you restart it, you don't need to execute refresh mount. Refresh mount only you need to execute when you have created a new cluster, because new cluster doesn't know what all mounts are available. Sometimes it will automatically it will refresh, but if you use that particular command, it will 100% that the mount point will be available in the new cluster.
So where this information will be stored in the Spark side or Azure side?
Spark configuration.
Which keys you are talking about?
No, this mount point.
Mount point will be available in your Azure Databricks.
Okay. Okay.
So I will show you that list of scope. You can list down all the mount point which you have in your Databricks. Fine.
Yeah.
See, these are the prerequisites. We need to understand. We need to have an idea on Azure Databricks. We already know a little bit about Azure Databricks. Then required resources. We need to create a blob storage. We need to create a keyword. Then I'm going to create the Azure Databricks as well. Okay, let's go and create these three services. Okay, let me go here. First thing, I will create the Databricks because it will take some time for create. Okay, just click on Azure Databricks. Click add to create the Azure Databricks. Okay, subscription is free trial and the resource group is click create. And you can say cloud funded Databricks master program. Click OK. So this is the resource group, and workspace name I am going to give it as a cloud funded AWS. Cloud funded Azure Databricks workspace.
Well,
And in which
this workspace is unique, right? One resource group will have only one workspace only, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So I am deleting the existing one. That's why I'm giving same name every day. Okay. Region is East to West. Pricing type. So we are going with the standard, but we have seen premium. With premium also we have created in the previous sessions. Networking, as I don't have my own virtual network, I'm going with the default. Select no. Click tags. Okay, key value pairs. If you have anything, we can give. Otherwise, leave them as it is. Click DBFS create. Validating all the details which we have provided.
Malaya, one question, Malaya. Yeah, can't we create multiple workspaces in one resource group?
You can create it. You can
Yeah,
create
that's
it.
what he's asking. That's what he's asking.
What is that? Oh, is it? You can create multiple workspaces in a resource group. I was thinking, can we create multiple workspaces with the same name? So that is not possible.
Yeah,
Okay.
with the same name, not possible, but we can create multiple workspaces in one resource group. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks, Ram.
multiple workspaces you can able to create it.
Okay. Yeah, that's
With
correct.
same
Yeah,
name,
so you can use same resource group. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Click review plus create. Validation succeeded, you can create it. Okay, now open one more tab here. Let's go to storage accounts. I will create my own storage account. Okay. So let's select your resource group. Select your Databricks master program and storage account name. I can say Cloud Pandit ADB storage. So in East2S only I am creating this storage as well. So remaining things we know. Just so if you don't know, so standard is nothing but you will have HDDs, hard disk drives. Premium means SSDs. Okay, so we discussed those things. Okay, solid state drive. So if you go with premium, it will be faster, okay, in terms of performance. And storage V2, where you will get data lake storage, Gen2, file store, queues, tables, everything, including the blob storage. If you go to general purpose V1, you will get only without data lake storage, everything you will get like blob, files, queues, tables. If you go with the blob storage, you will just get the blob storage. Don't worry about everything. Just click on blob storage. Okay. Replications. So where you want to store your copies of data. Okay. You are going to maintain the duplicate, like multiple copies of the data. In case if you lose one copy, you need to have multiple copies, other copies available. For that, so you are going to say local redundance, meaning in same availability zone, you will have 3 copies. Geo redundant storage means, so in 2 different geographical places, you will have a copies. One copy will be there in one geographical area, in another copy will be there in another geography. Okay, so read access geo redundancy storage means now you have 2 copies. For both the copies, you will have a read access. In second option, geo redundant storage, we have 2 copies in 2 different regions. Okay, but reading, you can able to read only 1 copy of the data. If you select third option, you can read 2 copies of the data. Okay, just click local redundant storage, click review plus create. Created. Let's open one more tab. We need to create the keywords for this. Now search for Azure keyword. Click on keywords. Click add to create the keywords. Come down, it's a free trial. Resource group is we need to create a Databricks master program. In which, what is your keyword name? Keyword name, you can say Cloud Pandit AKV Azure keyword. AKV is already in use or is still being reserved by a vault which was previously soft deleted. You can say AKV1. Region is East US. Pricing tier is standard. Okay, we have a premium as well. See, it's like you will have a more encrypted way you can able to store the data. Okay, a strong keys will be encrypted with strong keys. Click access policies. Here, basically, you're going to select. Okay, example, whatever passwords I'm storing in my keyword, my Azure Data Factory should access. Then you need to add your Azure Data Factory here. If you want to allow Databricks to read those passwords, you need to add Databricks. But we don't need to create data. We don't need to create Databricks here. Automatically, it will add when you add the key vault URL. That is nothing but a DNS name of key vault and the resource ID. Okay, so that's why we don't need to explicitly mention access policy. It will be added automatically. For now, just click review plus create. running validation created. Okay. Now come to storage account, go to storage account, come down, click on containers. Here I am going to create a let's say I'm going to create my container called Cloud Pandit. Okay, create it. Okay, now so this is my container name. Go inside this container. Now I am going to upload a files. Just select this. So what I will upload here, I may upload the Cloud Pandit datasets. Let's say comma separated files. Okay, these are the two comma separated files. So where you will upload, do you want to upload directly under Cloud Pandit the container? No, I want to upload under a subfolder called CSV data, or you can say this is yeah, this is best CSV. Just say CSV dataset, CSV dataset, click upload. So see, one subfolder will be created. Inside that you will have a files. Those two files will be available. In the same way, now I want to upload my another type of file, maybe JSON files. Okay. Let's go with the JSON files. So I have a multi-line JSON file. Select these two, click OK. Where you want to upload these two I want to upload under a JSON dataset folder. Click upload. Okay, so I have these two like input files. So I don't want to create a CSV dataset output, JSON dataset output containers like subfolders. Those I will create from the program. Now you need to focus in a Cloud Pandit container. I have created two more subfolders. Those are CSV dataset, JSON dataset. In CSV dataset folder, I have a CSV files. In JSON dataset folder, I have a JSON files. Okay, you need to remember till here. Now I need to read this data from Databricks. For that, what we can do is directly we can take this key and we can connect to the Blob Storage from Databricks. But in real time, we won't do like that because it is not recommended to hard code your keys in your Databricks. For that, we need to keep our keys in your keyword. Select this key. You can take key 1 or key 2. Select one key. Now go to your Azure Key Vault. Go to source. Here you see something called secrets. Click on secrets. Click plus generate/import. You see from where I click that. Come to secrets here, generate/import. This is your secret name, or you can say you can call it as a your key. This I can call it as a blob key. Okay, or you can say blob password. That blob password I copied. Now I'm pasting here. Content type, if you know what type of content, application / JSON something, if you have anything, you can put that. Or if it is a text, if it is some normal encrypted format, you can put in what format it is, what content type. Set activation date. So from what date to what date this secret should be active. So that start time and end time you can put. For now I'm just saying unlimited time. There is no limit for this particular password to expire. So there is no expiry date I'm setting. Okay, now do you want to activate this particular secret immediately? Yes, I'm activating. Click create. Now I have a data in my blob storage. To connect to the blob storage, I need a key. That key is available in my keyword. Now I will go to my Databricks. Click on go to resource. Click on launch workspace. Launch workspace. I will tell you how to create your secret. To create this scope, to create the secret scope, you don't require any cluster. Okay, how will you create that? You just have to remove whatever you have here. Okay, remove that. Okay, and you need to say here hash secret okay / then you need to say create scope. Okay, enter.
This is the only way we have to go, or any other way?
So you can go with CLI as well, but if you want to do it from UI, you need to follow same.
Is the secret spelling correct, Malaya?
Secret. 1 second. I think net slash secret. Secrets.
Spelling
REATS, I think. A.
correct only. It's a normal English word, right? Secret.
Yeah. Okay, so if you have any issue, anyhow we have in a documentation, we can able to copy from the documentation. So till .NET you have to keep as this. Okay, later you need to just put this secrets. Yeah, A is not there. Okay, by mistake I put secrets. Okay, secrets. Okay. Slash create scope. Now you see. Okay, so it will display scope name. Scope name you can simply say that Cloud Pandit. Cloud Pandit. SS secret scope. Cloud Pandit. I can say secret scope. Okay, Cloud Pandit secret scope. I'm saying the name of this is Cloud Pandit secret scope. Now, do you want only creator to access or all users? I will give all users, but creator, if you want to select creator, you should create your Databricks workspace in a premium pricing plan. Okay, right now we have created with the standard pricing plan, so you need to go with all users. Now DNS name and the resource ID. So what DNS name, what resource ID? Key vault DNS name and the resource ID. How you will get it? Go to properties. Here you see URI, vault URI. Copy it, paste this one here. Come here, you see resource ID. Copy this. Come here, paste your resource ID here. Now, once you paste all these things, you just click create. What it is saying, the secret scope named Cloud Pandit secret scope has been added. Manage secrets in this scope in Azure keyword with manager principal equal to users. So the manager principal equal to users means all the users can able to access it. Okay, click OK. Now let's go and create the cluster first before we do anything here. Okay, let's click on create cluster. So here I will say Cloud Pandit demo. We know standard high concurrency. These are multi-node clusters for parallel execution and serial execution. Single node we are going to select and pull for starting your cluster quickly. Databricks runtime core component we are installing on this node, and inactive time I will set to 60 minutes. If you are not submitting any job for about 60 minutes, cluster will terminate. This is my node configuration: 14 GB memory, 4 cores, 0.75 Databricks units. With this configuration, you can create the cluster. Okay, so I created the cluster. Now come to workspace, create your folder. Let's create here Cloud Pandit. So in this, create notebook. Okay, so read blob. You can say access blob directly. So how to access blob directly? So for that, what we need to do is we need to do two things. One is you need to get the code from the documentation. What is that code? That code will tell you how you can connect to the blob storage directly. Okay, so once we copy that particular code and bring it to our notebook, okay, let's say I'm just copying here from my PPTs. So this is the code which we need to use for connecting to your blob storage directly. Okay, so now if I use this particular code, I can able to connect to the blob storage. Okay, so to where I'm setting all these things, I'm setting to Spark configurations. So what all things I need to replace in this code? I just storage account name I need to change. What is my storage account name? I will just get it. Come here, go back, click on your storage account name. Which storage we created? This one, ADB storage. This is my Cloud Pandit ADB storage. Copy this, come back. You need to put that particular storage name here. It's not copied properly. Copy, paste it. That's all. See, I kept my storage name here. Next, what is your secret name? What is your secret name? My scope, sorry, it's a scope. Scope name is Cloud Pandit secret scope. I have created a scope name with this Cloud Pandit secret scope. What is your key? Your key, if you want to understand, go to your secrets. This is going to be your key. Blob password is going to be your key. Okay, come here. Let me keep this here. First thing that I need to do is I need to execute this before I read any file from the blob storage. For this notebook I will attach to the cluster. Attach to your cluster. Second thing is, as cluster is still creating, meanwhile you just create your URL to connect to your blob storage. What is the URL structure? Blob URL. Okay, blob path is so was/bs container name @ storage name .blob.core.windows.net / if you have any subfolders you need to give here. Okay, this is how I need to form the blob path. Okay, this is, I will comment it because this is my structure. So what I will do with that structure, I will form my file path. Your file path is going to be, let's say, currently I will focus on reading my CSV data. Okay, for that, how you will create the URL is, click on this containers. See, this is my container name, Cloud Pandit. Come here, you can say was/bs : / you can paste your container. Okay, I pasted my container name is Cloud Pandit. Next, @ storage name. This is my storage name. I will give @ storage name. I will paste .blob.core.windows.net. Okay, windows.net till here. Okay, next / do you have any subfolders? Do you have any subfolders? Yes, we have a subfolder. Let's go inside this Cloud Pandit. You will see subfolders such as CSV dataset. Okay, copy this particular folder name. I will go here and I will give the CSV dataset. How you will read the CSV file? Spark.read.format is CSV, and I want to load the file from this file path. This is going to be CSV.df. I will display the data. CSV.df. Okay, so if I execute it, it will fail. Why it will fail? Because we don't have a connection information. So sometimes if we have URL, we can able to read it, but we'll see whether it is reading the data. Even if it is reading the data, before we set this particular connection, you cannot write the data. Okay, if you have a proper details, you may connect it, but if you want to write the data, 100% you need to have a key. See, now we are not able to connect to the blob storage because we did not set this particular key. Execute this. And now I will execute. See, I set this particular keys to my configuration. Now you just execute this and see. See, I'm able to read the data. Only thing is, you need to say header equal to true. I will tell you header equal to true is option. So just execute it. See, now our headers are set properly. You can able to read the data. Okay. But we know the data types are string. So how you can get the data types properly? To get the data types properly, you are going to use the next parameter option, info schema equal to true. Info schema equal to true means it is going to read data one more time to get the proper data types. But this is not the good way to get the data types of each column, because it will cause the performance issue. For that, what we used to do, we will use a we will provide the user defense schema. How will you provide user defense schema? Come here.
Struct field, struct type. Yeah.
Very good. So I'll just remove this. Okay. Schema of S. What is that S is? For that S variable, I will just add my struct type. Like you just have to define your schema here. Here this is basically struct field. Maybe you can say player ID. It is a integer type. Will it allow null values? Yes, true. It will allow null values. This is my first column, second column, third column, fourth column. So your second column is basically player name. Player name means it's not an integer type. It's going to be string type. Next, player highest score HS. This is going to be integer only. The number of matches. The number of matches. You can see the column names are exactly same. See, player ID integer type and player name is string type. Player highest score is integer type. Number of matches is integer type. Okay, you remove the comma at the end. So this is your schema. This schema you have used with the help of struct type, struct field, integer type, and string type. So you need to import those things from the pyspark.sql.types. Type, struct type, field, string type, integer type. Okay, so these four you need to import instead of putting star. Star means it will import all the types which we don't want. Okay, just to go like this. Now if you expand this, the data types are proper. With the user defined schema, it got the data types. If I remove this user defined schema, still you will get all the columns are string. Okay, and this is how we need to read the data. Now I also have a JSON dataset. How you will form the path for JSON dataset? You just have to take same path. Okay, container is same, storage name is same. Only thing is instead of CSV dataset, it's another subfolder called JSON dataset. I want to read this spark.reader. Format is JSON. Okay, so you need to load this particular file from file path. So here also how we have option equal to header. The option here we need to use is multi-line equal to true. Multi-line equal to true. Multi-line equal to true means what? So our each line is splitted across multiple lines. Okay. Let me show you that. JSON execute. See, now we are able to read all this data. Okay, so string, it's long. So automatically JSON will info the data type. You no need to provide the schema explicitly. Okay, we no need to use info schema and all these things. So this is how you can read any type of file. If it is a parquet, if it is average, if it is ORC. Okay, now how to write this data? Let's say this JSON DF, I want to write it into my storage. Okay, I will write is take this part. And here you can put this is, you can say JSON file path. Okay, JSON file path. I'm just saying here instead of JSON dataset, you can say JSON output. Okay, where you want to write. So which data you want to write first? This DF data, this data frame. I want to write in which mode you want to write. I want to write it in a overwrite mode. Okay, next, where you want to save this data. Next thing is in which format you want to write. In which format you want to write. Let's say I want to write it in a CSV format. Next, do you want to save this data? Where you want to save this data? This is the path. This is the my location of the file where it has to write. It is going to write data in this JSON output folder. So come back to your storage. You see you have only CSV dataset and JSON dataset. Now you will see one more folder it will create called JSON output. Automatically it will create, and inside that it will write data as a CSV. Okay, let's write it now. Now come here, refresh this. You will see this folder. Go inside this folder. We know about commit started success. So here you see two files. Now just click on this. Why two files? Because in our input side we have a two files. So each file is one partition. So two files means two partitions we have. So when it is writing also, it will write it as a two partition. Now you see headers is missing. Why headers is missing? Whenever you are writing data as a CSV, you need to explicitly say that I want to write this data with headers. See, headers is missing. Now what I will do, go to your Spark here. I will use the option. I want to write with headers. I will ask to write headers, header, not headers, header equal to. I will write with header. Now overwrite again. So I have written. Now come back, refresh this. See here 1252. Just now it is updated. Just click on this. Each file you will see a headers now. See, headers came now. Go back, click on this. See, headers came. But my question is, where is your previous files? Previous source files is deleted. Why? Because you are in a overwrite mode. Now I will change it to the append. If I change it to the append, with the existing files, it will add the new two files. So now we will have a total 4 files. See, I have 2 part files. Now it will become 4 part files. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have total 4. You see, these two are the previous files. Sorry, this one and this one is the previous file. 5206, 5206, 5248, 5248. These two files are the recently created files. Okay, this is the behavior of the overwrite and the append. Okay, any questions? Please let me know.
So overwrite in the sense not data overwrite. It's like a file overwrite, right?
Data only it is going to overwrite. Inside the files, what you will have? You will have data only.
Okay, okay. Okay, I thought, for example, what happened is the same file data will be appended, you know. For example, first time when we write
That you can do that if you want. See, one thing you need to understand is Spark file names you cannot control.
Okay, okay. Ah, yeah, correct. Yeah.
Because it's a data, you cannot keep entire data in a single file. So that's why it's not in our control.
Yeah.
Files will be created as per the based on the partitions. If you have 2 partitions, data will be written into 2 files. Now you ask how many, how many partitions we have in this. How you will ask is, I don't think we have get num partitions here. We need to convert into RGB. Okay, okay. Get num partition. Exit this. Get num partitions. See how many it is saying 2. So as it is saying 2, it has written data into 2 files. Yeah. Now I want to repartition this data. Okay, repartition means, let's say repartition. I don't think you can able to apply directly on this data frame, but here also you can able to apply directly. Yeah, you can apply on this as well directly. Coalesce of 1. So coalesce of 1 means you are going to decrease the number of partitions to 1. Okay, So now I will go with overwrite mode. Now you will see only one file you will be able to see in the target. That's great. Now I have overwritten. Now come here, refresh this. Now you see only one part file because all the data will be written to single file. Based on number of partitions, those many files will be created in your storage when you write the data. If you want only single file, you can use this particular function to reduce the number of partitions when you are writing. Clear, Sanjay?
Yeah, the first line, Malaya, the config one, the first one, go to a bit up, you know.
Who is caller 01? Lakshman, Sriram, Senthil, Shushmita. Who is the other person?
Anyone join?
No idea, Malaya.
Caller 01. Who is?
I think you can terminate them. You can.
Hello. Caller 01.
We are the 4 guys, right?
Yes.
Someone joined some other device. I don't know.
So can you, everybody, can you ping your names? Chat and everybody, can you ping your names?
Yeah.
Who is getting URL first thing? See these people.
Someone might have shared that URL, your link.
You can terminate. You know?
This guy is regularly joining.
Ooh, caller 00.
Yes, yes.
And we haven't seen Malaya.
He's gone now.
The first time we are correct, Ram?
He is joining regularly for data, like Azure Data Factory sessions, for all the trainings he is joining. I don't know how he is getting.
Maybe someone is sharing this link to
your URL, Malaya. That's it. Someone in your I mean, yes, one of your student might have sharing your URL to some other guy.
Yeah, I will check that. Okay, see, this is how you need to write the data. Okay.
Malaya,
So
can you go bit up? Malaya, can you go bit up? The first line config.
Config.
Yeah. So my understanding, Malaya, here the first line, first one is config in the sense like we are making the connection string kind of, yeah. So just trying to establish the connection. Then the next one we are giving the exact file path and everything, right?
Yes. So you're just storing your credentials which required to connect to the Blob storage from Databricks. So by using Spark session, we are reading the data. First, you need to understand this is what Spark session. Into this Spark session, we are setting all these things. Spark session.config. Spark is nothing but Spark session. Into that, we are configuring, we are setting these configurations. We are keeping all these keys.
Okay. So scope we are creating in our Azure bricks and key vault, secret and all we are creating there in Azure Blob Storage. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Malaya.
So remaining things tomorrow we will see.
Malaya, I mean these videos and all, are you organizing properly for